We've got 27 minutes left here in broadcast. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Alex Jones. The websites are Infowars.com, INFOWARS.com, and PrisonPlanet.com. We are fighting the formation of the prison planet through the info war. We're not left or right. We're freedom lovers. We're truth tellers. We are a society of truth. We're looking for the truth. And the truth is, in all races, colors, creeds, we are one race, the human race, reaching towards the stars. And we have in us the most horrible things, and we have the greatest things as well, all within us as a human community. And I'm trying to get people to realize there's an agenda going on around them, that there is a power elite on this planet that does not have your best interest at heart. I mean, it's just that simple. And that you need to get involved in your daily life and stand up for your freedom. You know, you can't have the attitude, oh, it's too big, things are too corrupt. What could little old me do? Well, if little old me doesn't start doing a little something, we know we're in deep trouble. We know things are only going to get worse. Because the truth is, little old you isn't little old you. You have great power, and history has shown that. That's why we have a scientific dictatorship racing to block off every avenue of human escape. But they're not godlike. They're not invincible. They're not in full control. In fact, they're losing control. They are delusional, believing that they can dominate and control us. It doesn't matter how much surveillance, how much oppression they have. If you stand up and say no, this tyranny will come crashing down. We then have to replace it with our Americanism, with our freedom, with our liberty, with our Constitution and Bill of Rights. We have to replace it. I'm a restorationist. I want my liberties and freedoms back. I'm not a revolutionary. We're fighting revolutionaries. We're firing piratical revolutionaries. Going back to Webster Tarpley and then your phone calls here in just a moment, but I want to tell you about a few of the sponsors that made today's radio broadcast possible. One of them is EcoloBlue.com. Did you know you can be drinking fresh, clean water made right out of the air you breathe? No, this isn't something out of a science fiction book. Our sponsor, EcoloBlue, with the EcoloBlue 28, and their brand new EcoloBlue 30 machines will allow you to do just that. It's easy to use and will make up to 7.5 gallons of water per day. The water, once generated, passes through 7 or 12, depending on the unit you get, stage filtering process, including reverse osmosis and carbon filtration techniques, ensuring that you know exactly what you are drinking. No chemicals, pollutants, or fluoride we spend so much time talking about on this radio broadcast. Check them out at EcoloBlue, EcoloBlue.com, EcoloBlue.com, or give them a call at 800-691-6043 to get an information packet or to order. 800-691-6043. Take action today. And one other sponsor that I just love is Weapons Universe. And they've got tasers, they've got pocket knives, they've got swords, from ornamental to the real thing, and they've got great prices, and they are patriots. Weapons-universe.com. That's weapons-universe.com. Whether you need knives or stun guns, blowguns, collapsible batons, they have it all at weapons-universe.com. They have authentic movie replica swords, like that awesome folded steel Conan sword I showed you once. It's weapons-universe.com. Check them out today. And why do we love weapons? Because it's the mark of a free man and a serious check and balance against tyranny. But you first have to have the initiative to peaceably speak out. Because if you won't speak out peaceably when we're in this realm of conflict, you certainly aren't going to stand up if it goes to something physical, which we're trying to avert each and every day. Okay, Webster, I promise to go to calls. We appreciate your time. But I need to move quickly here, so finish up.
Alex, one last thing now. So the big thing is Geithner goes to Germany, and he tries to beat up the German finance minister, Schäuble. And he basically says to him, take back your ban on these derivatives, right? We believe derivatives are sacrosanct. Get your hands off our derivatives. And Schäuble tells him to get lost, to scram. So the clash is set up. There's a meeting of the group of 20 finance ministers in Seoul, South Korea this week. The clash goes on. And then there's going to be this international, the group of 8, the big industrial countries in Ottawa in July. The Europeans, under German leadership to some extent, are proposing measures against derivatives, a Tobin tax, to tax the turnover of financial institutions and use that money. There's a fight about what.
But as long as that's done domestically, it's okay. We don't want the UN.
National fund.
We don't want the UN running the Tobin tax.
Not the UN, not the IMF, none of this. The countries need it. Everybody says, oh, there's a deficit crisis in all these countries. And finally, rules against hedge funds, because we've had enough of these hedge funds. So the basic idea is, you're hearing a lot of people say, this is a crisis of the welfare state. That is absolute baloney. The Greeks have 18% unemployment. They have 20% poverty. Spain has 20% unemployment. The IMF comes in and says, you guys are profligate. We have an austerity program for you. You're going to get gouged. We give the money to the bailouts, because as you correctly point out, the bailout of Greece is really a bailout of French and German banks, not of Greece at all. So what is failing is this globalized casino economy of derivatives, hedge funds, and hot money. That's what's failing.
Well, Webster, let's go back to 19 months ago, back in October. They said we need these trillions of dollars, or the entire economy is going to go into a depression. It's to unfreeze mortgages. And then the next day, literally, they say, we're not spending it on that now.
Right.
We're not going to tell you where it's going. But I mean, just briefly, how do you see the power structure breaks? Because we saw the concerted bailout a year and a half ago. Now we see fissures cracking here. Because, I mean, you're right when you say that these investment banks and brokerage firms can't control themselves. They're even attacking the national governments now that give them all this power. And then you have what appears to be delusion. Many of the top globalists running around saying we'll just form a world government where the banks have all the power and where we have SDRs, where we just make up our own money. But then you have Brzezinski, and I want to get your take on this 2 weeks ago, saying, look, for the first time, the whole world is awake to us. We're in trouble. So it appears that they are having trouble in their concerted actions and that the wheels are beginning to come off. So what do you say about Brzezinski?
I think we're headed towards a world now where in the immediate short run, you're going to have two blocks. There's going to be the derivatives block. The people who say derivatives are the basis of human civilization. That's the U.S. and the British. Then there's the anti-derivatives block saying, no, as Schäuble says, production of goods and services has to be the basis of human civilization, not derivatives. Ultimately, the plans of these globalist thinkers that you point to, they are insane, because what they will get is not a world government. They will get the breakdown of human civilization. They'll get warlords. They'll get chaos. They'll get death on a vast scale. They will not get some kind of an orderly descent into a dark age where they think that they can continue with some worldwide dictatorship of the United Nations or whatever.
And by the way, they've said that. I mean, you've read their own documents. We're interviewing you for the next film on this subject. But they want a global eugenics, Malthusian capital where we're literally in loincloths, those that they allowed to live, while they fly above us like Skynet with drones. I mean, they make these...
It doesn't work. It will never work this way. In other words, they will lose control of everything long before that. The problem is, this existing ruling class of financiers, because that's who they are, right? Wall Street, City of London, people.
They drank their own Kool-Aid because
they ruled the world, and they believe that their power is eternal. They will be swept away at some point or other in this entire thing. The problem is that they can drag down human civilization into some kind of a catastrophic breakdown crisis and collapse, and we're all in the soup. So the point is, remember from the 1930s, depression, dictatorship, world war. We're still in the depression phase. If you fight to stop the depression with a recovery program, you can avoid the dictatorship phase and you can avoid the world war phase. But you've got to fight the depression. You can't say, let the free market take care of it, balance the budget. That is absolutely suicidal nonsense.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt this is not a free market. This is crony, insider capitalism.